Coming up on World News, we'll take a look at why you might be offering up another penny from your pocketbook.
A long-time-awaited memorial has finally been dedicated.
And Motorola introduces their new smartphone.
Hello and welcome to World News. I'm Mareah Adolphs.
And I'm Nick Senovich. Let's get worldly. The racing world continues to mourn the tragic death of IndyCar driver Dan Welton. Welton was killed in a car accident last Sunday at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. He was caught in a 15-car melee that sent him headfirst into the catch fence that surrounds the track. His untimely death is the first for Indy racing car in over 5 years, and the ironic closing to the 2011 season. Newer, safer cars are set to debut in the 2012 season. Welton is the father of 2 and won this year's Indy 500.
A disease that affects 1 million people each year may now have a vaccine. A study in Africa shows this experimental vaccine decreases the risk by 50% in young children. Although it's still in the early stages, a vaccine for malaria will become available in 3 years.
October 16th was a momentous day in Washington, D.C., as Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial was dedicated in front of thousands. The memorial, which cost more than $120 million, is the first on the National Mall dedicated to a non-president. It's also the first celebrating a person of color. President Obama served as the event's keynote speaker.
For those of you who still mail letters, it's going to cost you a cent more come this new year. The U.S. Postal Service announced the stamp will now cost 45 cents, effective January 22nd. The U.S. Postal Service lost an estimated $8 billion in 2010 and is supposed to rise substantially for this 2011 year.
Rapper Soulja Boy was arrested last Tuesday in Georgia on weapon and gun charges. The 21-year-old and 4 crew members were stopped at the routine police checkpoint where police found cash, guns, marijuana, as well as a puppy, which has been returned to the relatives of the owner. All 5 men were booked in the Carroll County Jail. Soulja Boy was soon released on a $10,000 bond. Coming up on World News, we'll take a look at a modern-day Noah's Ark gone bad.
And we get a look at the temperatures from Storm Team's Megan Fitzpatrick. All this coming up on World News.
I find inspiration all around me. From those that push me to think and to grow. To move forward, because to stand still is to fall behind. That's not my plan. I'm just getting started. My life is just beginning. My major is inspiration.
Welcome back to World News. Let's take a peek at your 3-day forecast. Today we are looking at a high of a chilly 40 degrees. For Friday, we won't see much of a difference as we are looking at 43 degrees. For the weekend outlook, we are looking at 48 for Saturday as more and more fall-like temperatures come into the area. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Megan. Tara Thompson may have fashioned himself as a modern-day Noah's Ark, but not anymore. Thompson, 62, sent terror through the community of Zanesville, Ohio, late Tuesday night by releasing animals from his private preserve. Animals released included 18 Bengal tigers, 17 lions, 6 grizzly bears, and a baboon. The story plot thickens when police found Thompson's body at the scene. Deputies were forced to shoot 49 of the 56 animals. The investigation continues into reasons for Thompson's suspected suicide and freedom of these dangerous animals.
In an attempt to take out the iPhone, Motorola introduced their new Droid Razr smartphone. The super slim phone includes a 4.3 display screen, weighs less than 4.5 ounces, and is only a quarter of an inch thick. Verizon announced that orders for the Razr will begin October 27th, costing $300 with a 2-year agreement.
Halloween is just around the corner, and 'tis the season for the most terrifying haunted houses this country has to offer. The Edge of Hell in Kansas City, Missouri is among the scariest of all haunted houses in America. The owners say they studied the psychology of fear and apply it to each haunted house they open. They say constant recurring characters based on this research are, what else? Clowns. The Scare House is in its 36th year of operation.
Government and health officials are taking the first steps toward banning chewing tobacco at Major League Baseball games. Health officials working out of both St. Louis and Arlington, Texas, are convinced tobacco has a negative influence on young viewers watching Major League games. Major League Baseball has told both teams to give up chewing tobacco for the World Series until it can become passed as a law.
And thank you so much for joining us for World News.
I'm Nick Senovich.
And I'm Mareah Adolphs.